Hi.
Hey.
Do you want to start by telling us your name?
Emma Heaps.
Okay. What was your reason for starting SpeakUp?
Because when I felt alone and depressed and, sad, I felt like I had no one to go to, and it would have really helped if something like, that was there for me.
Do you remember when you first started to feel depressed?
Probably, it sounds weird to say, but probably when I was like year 4 in primary school. I always felt dead alone because I got bullied, and I don't remember having that many friends.
Have you ever acted upon your depression?
I've not tried to kill myself or commit suicide, but I think my body took it into its own hands to deal with it in its own way since I got anorexic from it, but not purposely, if that makes sense.
Explain that a little bit more to us.
Basically, my body's way and my mind's way of dealing with my depression was to feed off my own body's fat instead of taking all the fat and nutrients from all the food that I was actually eating. So when I ate something, my body wouldn't take it in. And then when I thought I had ate something, my mind would tell me that I had, but I actually hadn't for 3 or 4 days. And I'd be like, oh no, I had that packet of crisps an hour ago, and I hadn't had anything. I just thought I had.
Where did you go for the help when you figured out something was really wrong?
Well, I figured out something was wrong my mum figured it out that when I was getting skinnier. I kind of was just like, no, I'm fine. Didn't want to wasn't really fazed by it, whatever. Because I didn't really talk to anyone about anything that was going on, and never had done. And then when the doctors brought in and said, they kind of hit me, they were just like, yeah, something is wrong with you. You need to start eating. And I was like, oh, I am eating. You don't understand I am. And they were like, you're not. You're really not. People have been watching you, like your friends and family and your teachers. And I was like, no, I am eating. Like, no, you're not. So it kind of hit me that I didn't even realise I was doing it to myself.
So it's completely out of your control.
Yeah, I didn't even realise. And then that's when all the emotions came up. They thought I was making myself be sick and starving myself.
Obviously that
was not the case. And then I finally had to admit to my doctor, I was like, look, well, I felt like this for a while. I feel like that's what's causing it, and I wanna go and see someone now.
So that's the first time you admitted your depression?
That's the first time to anyone that I'd ever admitted anything.
When was that? How long ago was that?
About 2.5 years now.
What did they do to help you?
Well, in the end, they ended up putting me for referral to psychologist, a therapist, a counsellor, whatever you want to call them. They put that, and I was on a waiting list for about another year because they were so packed up, and because the NHS has cut down so much. My counsellor was on 6 different doctors' buildings, and had loads of different clients instead of there be one for each doctor's where you went. So I had to travel out my way to get to mine because there's no way I could get in mine for another year because it was booked. So when I did go after a year of waiting, it got worse and worse, and I ended up going to the doctors and saying, look, I need to go now, it's getting bad. I can't remember what triggered it off, but I kept relapsing into it over and over. And then when I finally got into my counselling, I was I didn't even want to be there. I was just like, oh God, what's this? What have I got myself into? They're going to think I'm crazy, so whatever. Well, she didn't. And I went for cognitive therapy, I think it's called.
Cognitive therapy.
Yeah. I went for that, and people I know have had it, and they've been like, oh no, it's crap. Whatever, it's not their thing. And I was like, look, I'll give it a go, see if it works for me. And luckily, it did work for me, unlike some people.
So you figured that you didn't just take people's word for it. You figured you'd best try it for yourself.
Yeah,
Because obviously everyone's different.
And if it didn't work, then I'd go and try something else. And if that didn't work, I'd try something else. And then I'd
So were there a lot of options for you? If the cognitive therapy didn't work, did they say, well, there's this to try and
there
there's
was
other
two other
things to try?
types of counselling. I can't remember what. I think it was just talking counselling, where they just ask you a few questions and you just talk it all out, which I wasn't really interested in. It didn't sound for me. And then I can't remember what the other one was. And then after that was basically pills. I feel like I couldn't take any more. Anxiety pills, depression pills, and I didn't really want to go on that path because I've seen people on them and they're not there, so I didn't want to go there.
Do you still find you struggle with your depression?
Oh yeah, like today has been a bad day, a really bad day, but sometimes it's good days and sometimes it's bad days. Little things get to you more, like you judge yourself, which you shouldn't really do like I do. I get dead conscious about my body in different clothes, so I wear baggy clothes so people won't see my body as much because I get worried they'll think I'm either too skinny or too big or, so I don't like it, but I'm trying to get out of that at the moment, and that's sort of getting there, I guess.
Do you find it easier to talk to people now?
Yeah, because I went years without talking to anyone about anything, like about being bullied.
Was that because you felt like you had no friends?
Well, no, the truth is I didn't have any friends, that's the thing. I didn't have any friends for a while, and then I got into high school and I had a couple of friends, and I became like, I say for about a good 2 or 3 years, from when I got into high school, I say the second year into high school, 2 or 3 years up to year 9, year 10, I was okay, I felt happy with myself. And that's when I chose to whatever, put it in the back, push it all away. And then it all hit again in year 10 and 11. That's when it started getting really bad.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's gone through the same or anything similar than you?
Because the thing I regret the most is that it went on for so long because I didn't talk about it, I didn't ask for help. In the end, some people are just like, oh, I will ask for help, I'll do it, and they don't. Well, that's because I believe if they don't ask, they're definitely not ready for it yet. You can't pressure anyone into doing something you don't want to do. But the truth is, you need to talk about it.
And is that what SpeakUp's there for?
Yeah. Like, if you don't feel comfortable going to your mum just for a quick chat about it, or you're embarrassed in front of your friends about it, that's what email in and we'll talk to you about anything.
And there is the option to remain anonymous, obviously, through SpeakUp as well.
I mean, we will have your email address sometimes, but you can always go on Tumblr and write in anonymously.
And that is completely
That
anonymous.
Is completely anonymous.
We don't track IP addresses.
No, we don't track anything. We don't tell anyone about it. It stays within the group.
Anything else to add?
Just you definitely need to talk about it, because if you don't, you're going to get nowhere.